Well, that was wild. My timer app just added a minute out of nowhere, but we're gonna skip the situation. Oh, it's taking me to the wrong thing. There it goes. Hi, how's it going? I'm Ned. Hopefully you are able to hear the Stanley Parable right now. Hopefully all is well with you in the world. I am wearing a Mickey Mouse hat today because I am going to Disney, not this weekend but next after I'm in Los Angeles. So, if any of you are in Los Angeles, I would love to see you and hang out. You're going to lose audio for like 2 seconds. This is the worst part about Stanley Parable, is that if I have to click to a different window, it completely loses focus, pauses the game, loses the audio. So I'm tracking chat on my phone because I can't go click chat off to the left without you losing audio. But this is the Stanley Parable. We have been playing through the Stanley Parable looking for endings and content and everything else weird and wacky and wonderful in the world. And that's going to start now. If for whatever reason you can't hear me, let me know. If for whatever reason you can't hear the game, let me know. But I think it's time to dive in. I'll be honest, I don't entirely remember where we left off last time, but I do remember kind of what we were doing. So I'm just gonna run in that way. And if you see me doing an ending I've already done, so sorry. So without further ado, here we go. Hey, it worked. There's the Stanley Parable. And we are going to begin the game. We hope.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
We like that Stanley was happy.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
All right, does anything look wrong right off the bat? Nope, we're still looking for figurines, though. That'll be our immediate thing, as we're trying to find the remainder of the figurines.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
We're gonna not take the bucket this time. Actually, in order to look for figurines, I have to go left, where we think we found everything left, so we're gonna experiment a little bit, because I have to go left to get to the meeting room, and in the meeting room is where I have the list of figurines I need to find, and if we're on the hunt for figurines, well then, I guess I have
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright, we have found 4 of 6 figurines. We have nearby a fireplace and a large room with lots of boxes. I think I know where the fireplace ones are, but I have to find them. I can't do it on this run because it involves going right through that first door. So, room with a lot of boxes and a fireplace.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So maybe it's up here? Oh, today I can't open this door. That's interesting. I wonder what dictates whether or not I can go through that door. Okay. Okay, so this door is locked. That's not usually how that plays out. Anything going on back here? Anything I can do behind this desk? No. I could do the broken ending and see what happens, but there's a fireplace in here.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
You find somewhere else a new code that when you punch
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. Can't go anywhere but this way. It's like really bright in my room right now, and so like it's hard to pull my curtains, but then it gets hot in here because the window is locked. You know, normal casual problems.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Also, a friend of mine who's on Twitch told me to make emotes of my face because I have a very expressive face on Facebook. So some of them are still waiting approval, but we have a few. And because I have to, some of them are subscriber tier locked, but all of them are for my subscribers. We have that. We have this guy. We have this guy. We have this guy. And we have this guy right now. Those last two are for subscriber tier 2 and 3, and there are 2 more coming to subscriber tier 1 that just haven't been approved yet. Hope you enjoy. They are, there's Happy, Excite, Disney, Hype, Whelp, and then coming later are Yikes, and I forget what else. Anyway, those are my...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No, we're going to the escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Okay.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
And I'll additionally
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I'll make bit-specific emotes because those are fun. Is this the way that takes you? Oh, right. I needed the bucket for this.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Goodbye.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
To that room.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
I wonder if there's anything else to find here, but I don't think so. I've already gone down all the paths.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Alright,
But
let's
listen
get
to me.
crushed.
You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
And back we go. Okay, so I think I know where the fireplace is. I need the bucket, and I need to go to the right. I think. I hope.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps... the embrace of an old friend. A weathered companionship that stands the test of time. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chin. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Yes, that's correct.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door. Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place
Here's
eventually.
a fireplace. Does that mean...
You see, your friends and
There's
I
a
are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
what they
fans
get.
want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before.
So maybe I need to
Yes,
find...
I know I'm the one who gave you the
this
bucket, but you're spending too much time with it.
fireplace.
Don't you want another
find
story
this
involving the
fireplace
Adventure
in
Line?
the
We could
wild.
make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Okay, let's go.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
So now we're back to
Don't
the
you get it,
crusher.
Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud
It's
to...
not going to let me do it, so I'm going to start over. So that wasn't the fireplace in question.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So we're
The bucket
hunting
made
for a
Stanley want to be a better
fireplace.
man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
So I don't think we did any of the
And here it
endings.
was.
We did
Had the
one of
bucket turned
endings
out to be
with the
correct?
bucket.
Was it no? Never mind.
Straight.
The
But we
bucket
didn't
was
jump
wrong.
with the bucket.
Stanley took the door on his left
either
to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
This
Good,
run,
Said the bucket.
I'm
Now
just
ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to...
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms.
Well, that's nice.
How deeply touching.
It was deeply touching. All right, so next we'll jump to the catwalk with the bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this no? Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Where's a
No,
fireplace or
said the bucket.
a lot of
Don't go to the
boxes?
meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
There. How do I get there? There's the room with a lot of boxes. There's the collectible. Look at that. How do I get there? Okay. That is what we need. I am looking for that collectible. Well, there's a door down there. Maybe I get there this way. Well, this is the right way to go thus far. Okay.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
That's not stressful at all. Okay. Hey.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
It is.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
What?
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Also a bucket.
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
What is a bucket if not a bucket? The recreation of a bucket is still a bucket. Hey, what's up, Shelby?
Item 3.
Welcome,
Is this a
welcome on
bucket?
in. This is a bucket. Tell me it's a bucket.
Correct.
Yeah.
This is a bucket.
Great. All right, so the first two are not buckets, which I'll have to remember next time I take this ending. See what happens.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
What if I say yes? No, we're being truthful this time.
Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one.
So Shelby, the big thing we're looking for is the 2 collectibles. We know where one is, but we don't know how to get there. It's in the room full of boxes, and then there's a fireplace somewhere.
Is this a bucket?
Not a bucket.
Incorrect.
What?
This is a bucket.
No, it's not.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Yes, it's a bucket.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
What? Okay.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. Should be around here somewhere.
Not a bucket.
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless... Is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
No, I don't think that.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence, and yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry, but I'm going to erase all buckets from the game
Do not take my bucket.
Okay.
Narrator.
Here we go.
Do not take my bucket. Narrator.
What happened? Is everything gone?
Everything's a
Why
bucket.
did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay?
It's gonna be
And we'll
buckets
know that it's
everywhere.
all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Okay. So we did not find the way to the box room, and we did not find the fireplace. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
Taking
he
the
had simply
bucket.
missed a memo. It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded onward.
So we're gonna go to that same
Stanley
ending, but now we're
clutched
gonna
the
get it
bucket
right.
tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Shelby, how's
No,
how's
said
Jay's
the
stream
bucket.
going?
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Sorry, give me 1 second. I got a text message. You know, that old chestnut. Okay. So, we go down here with the bucket. then this shuts.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it.
I'll be
This
honest with you, Star Wars
misunderstanding
is not
could have
entirely
dire
my
consequences
fandom
on the
either.
entire
I'm a
rest
fan
of the
a lot
game
things,
if
but
not
Star
addressed
Wars
quickly
has
and
never
properly.
been my, like,
So much of the
go-to
impact of the story
fandom.
is dependent
My favorite
on
Star
your
Wars
understanding
property
of what
is Star
and
Wars
isn't
Knights of
a
the Old
bucket.
Republic.
Please,
Because that
step
game
in
was
here for a
incredible.
moment.
I'm thinking about playing that on stream one of these days after I play Jade Empire from the same creators. But also, my favorite movie of the Star Wars movies is The Last Jedi, and saying that is like blasphemous to the Star Wars community. Probably to Jay.
Now
Don't
then,
actually know.
I'm
Never
going
said
to
it him.
run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket.
Okay.
Okay, let's begin.
So this first one wasn't a bucket.
Item 1. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket?
That was not a bucket.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 3. Is this a bucket?
That was indeed a bucket.
Correct. This is a bucket.
This is
Item
not a
4.
bucket. It's trash.
Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one.
All right, this next one is a bucket.
Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket. Item 6. Is this a bucket?
I don't remember if this was a bucket or not. I think it was a bucket.
Trick
Oh,
question.
it's both.
Both. Gotcha. Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
This one is a bucket.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
Nothing is a bucket.
You know what? I'm too confused to
Oh,
even
interesting.
sort it out.
So it leads you back
I've
to the
lost
same ending no
all
matter
sense
what
of
you do.
perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with.
Oh.
I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
Okay, so it is the same ending
Okay,
no matter what you do.
here we go. What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... except me.
You don't have to wait for
I'm
me,
not a
Shelby.
bucket
I'll
after
always
all.
check in.
And
I'll
you,
I'll
Stanley,
pause if
you're
it's a
still
narration
here.
we haven't heard
You're
yet.
not a bucket either. Oh,
but
this
we've
is
heard
wonderful
this narration.
news. We're not
I would
buckets.
love to tell him.
Yes,
I think
I
he'll
actually
hate
feel
me
much more
forever,
at ease right
but,
now. It's
it's
delightful
a
to get some
weight
clarity
my
on that
soul.
issue,
It's
but
the
it
best
doesn't change
Star
the
Wars
fact
movie. It
that
does the
we
most
haven't
interesting
got a
stuff
game.
with the work.
So, tell you
it's
what,
the most
I'll
visually
reset
arresting.
everything.
Big fan.
We'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
And we're back to the top. Okay. Okay. So, we're back to the top. So we now know where we need to go to get
All of his
the
co-workers were gone. What could it
collectible.
mean?
And I'm gonna go try
Stanley
and get
decided
it.
to go
It
to the
might
meeting
kill
room.
me.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
And there was a door.
When
but I
Stanley
don't know how
came to a set of
access
two
that
open
door.
doors. This
I don't
was
know what
not the
path
correct way
gets
to the
me
meeting
that
room,
door.
and Stanley knew it perfectly
But I'm gonna
well.
try and jump
Perhaps he
to
wanted
it.
to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two?
Now we're gonna move on.
Could a man... But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay. We are in.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Aha! Aha! Oh. Okay. Yeah, and also, like, for me, Shelby, I prefer other fandoms, so I don't need to use that time in my life. Like, that's just how I feel. Collectible?
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
I'm a fan of a lot of stuff. I don't need to, like, totally add to that. You know? That's why I'm so impressed by what Jay does with Previewed. Like, Jay gets to be a fan of everything. Where does this take me? What is this? What? Where'd I come from? The ceiling.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path.
What?
That it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path.
This is where the
that it
narrator's
seemed the office had
dialogue
begun.
tapes are.
So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you?
I
What a
did!
silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording?
Yeah, look at all these
It was all
tapes.
just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
That's it? We're back? That was so abrupt. I'm gonna get the bucket and go do that ending again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
Bucket!
Stanley cradled the bucket in a gentle embrace.
All right, so the last thing we're looking for is a lit fireplace. We don't know that it's lit.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here
like
it
I'm
was.
coming
Had the
up on the end
bucket
of
turned
the
out to be correct? Was this better? No,
That
never
seems
mind.
unlikely.
The bucket
Feels
was
like the
wrong.
game is longer than that.
Stanley took the door on
And
his
I've put
left
a lot of
to go
hours
back
into
to
it,
the
I
meeting
guess.
room,
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Nope. What's happened now? Bucket, where are we? Okay. Okay.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number...
What was that?
I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes.
Is this Stanley?
The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
What the hell was that? What? What? What is Gambarata? How do I find out?
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Wait, that's a new voiceover. Something's changed. Something's changed. I think I've gone to all of the ending points, but I haven't because there's a figurine somewhere. Have we reached the conclusion of this game?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We're gonna go... Does anyone remember if there was a fireplace in his apartment? Like that creepy spot? I went there with him and with the bucket and never found it.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Where's the
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge. What a room, Stanley thought to himself. What a room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
So, if I go here and down, I end up in the behind the scenes of the game. Oh no, that's if I go to the mind control facility and hang a left. If I go here and down with the bucket, then it takes me to that good room.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Is there a fireplace in this ending?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Let's let it ring, see if something happens. Okay. I'm just gonna do it.
Is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Is there a fireplace in here?
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
No, I've done this ending. It's gotta be something to do with the boss's fireplace. That's the only fireplace. They use the same art in the room of my friend.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That Gambarata
When Stanley
ending
came
is
to a set
really
of two
messing
open
with my head.
doors, he entered the door on his left.
Nearby fireplace. It's gotta be the boss. It's gotta be.
Coming to a
Search
staircase,
that
Stanley
so
walked
carefully.
upstairs to his boss's office.
Can I open this door again? I can. Is it changed? Nope. Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible,
So this is
he
the
didn't even have a
fireplace.
single minute to just let the narrator talk.
this
That
is the
kind of
only
anxiety isn't
fireplace in
healthy,
the game.
so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Forgot about the New Age music.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
So does it appear now in this room? Now is it hidden somewhere? Oh! Oh! Cool.
And there it is, the last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here, and now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Cool. All right, let's finish this ending. So you haven't seen this ending. Oh, Shelby, there's so much this way. What's this thing? Okay. Can I go back up? Does that do something? That button's illuminated. What does that do? That's
Oops.
new.
Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
What does this do? This is all new for me. I gotta do this again with a bucket. And I can't go back down, so we are officially in a new end game.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Now what happens? There's gotta be something. Is it gonna force me to go back down? It is gonna force me to go back down. Okay. So this is just a fun loop. Can I put in any more numbers? No. Okay. Okay. I guess that's a way I could have found the figurine, because it would have opened and been right in front of me.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this? Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he? Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
So this, something I haven't done is followed the orders of turning around.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Oh, I didn't meant to do that. Oh, I was distracted.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise.
So I've done this, so we're going to back up. feel like there's got to be something. I feel like there's got to be something.
Stanley, I'm sorry.
What?
But I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines. Those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit
What
the
is
figurines.
this?
Just one more time.
We're back here again? When Stanley found the collectibles. So we came here once the first time I played through when they like had a new content pack. That's when the figurines were added to the game. And this is the memory zone where you get to remember all the fun things about the original Stanley Parable. And then in the original version, the narrator had like an emotional breakdown and started trying to change things and broke the game. And that's where we've never been back here since the narrator had that breakdown. And that's where we find ourselves, Shelby.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Can I take it again? Oh, I can. I can get more than the normal amount of collectibles. Will I get 12?
And here was a second Stanley. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways. Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
Yeah, the third one I found was under the stairs.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here, under the stairs. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
I don't remember my third time. Hey-oh.
Let's see, what came next?
This one didn't exist. What's happening? This doesn't exist. Why are you showing me a false memory, narrator? I don't like this.
Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room.
No, this pink room
well,
doesn't exist.
I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
I don't like this. This isn't real. Stop doing this to me, game. Go this way. Oh, they're all the same? That's weird.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy. Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
What was that sound? I didn't like it. Now, hear me out. Would it break everything if I jumped right now? You know? It feels like it would. And that makes me nervous because I like seeing through endings, but I also like trying to break the game. And I feel like breaking the game is the spirit of where we're at. I think I'm gonna do it, even if it means I never get to the end of this moment. Wow. That's... Can't! Ugh! They put a wall. Can't jump off. Wow. Okay, Stanley Parable. It's fun that they designed it so that it goes into the order you actually found them.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here behind the boss's office. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Now what? Whoa. That's a fun little thing that they've put in this game.
And then there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, Memory Zone.
Well, that's it? Okay.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the Memory Zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Okay.
Okay, yes. The back of the boss's office. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the Memory Zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more. And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Can I watch it again? Yes!
Yes, I love that video.
There was that sound again. And there were the 3 doors, and then this didn't happen. They never showed me the red-blue room, and that stresses me out. Oh no, 13. Sorry about the ad. I've been trying to catch that when that happens. The game turned around, played in reverse, and that is wild. Basically, the narrator went to the load screen and then said, no, I'm not ready to be done, and has decided that I have to go relive all of the trophies in reverse again. This one's weird because, again, it's not real.
Still don't remember the pink room,
Yeah,
Stanley.
there's the red
Still no
blue
memory
room,
of this
man.
one. Good room, though. A solid room.
Yeah, I like it, but I would like the red-blue one if we're gonna go down memory lane. Then we went down the stairs.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Yeah, I'm now an affiliate, which is exciting. My newest creation was a friend of mine told me to make a bunch of emotes in my face. You're gonna lose audio, or I'll just do it from my phone. So 2 of them are still getting, 2 of the emotes are still getting approved, so I don't have them for you today, but I have an emote for everything you might want. And so here, coming into the chat, are the 5 emotes currently available today. We have Whelp. We have, this is Hype. We have, Happy. Then, this is, I don't remember. Wild, maybe? I don't remember what I named that one. And then this is Disney. And then I also have Excite and Yikes, which are going through the approval process right now. So that's what I've done with my new affiliate status. And honestly, a great experience. Good time. Glad to have them all.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going.
Thank you. I had fun making them. I just went through all the pictures of myself and found fun faces and then edited them out. I'm going to do a few more once these get approved. Like, I'll probably have a bits reward one. I'll just find me making... I make weird faces in photos. I don't like taking normal photos, so this seemed like the right way to play. And, you know, I'm thinking maybe it'll be fun to create some kind of reward if someone can figure out what photo... All of these photos are on the internet somewhere, so someone can find the originals of these photos. I would laugh a lot.
This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the Figlarines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Ah! Oh, we're back here! I wanted to come back here. Oh, but only kind of here. Is this the jump circle? I've wanted to be able to jump again. Am I still out of
Look,
jumps?
it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
Well, I can't jump. I'm out of jumps. And, you know, I would happily challenge the Peaches to go try and track down the original photos. If, figure out some way to do a reward for each successful find. I don't know what that reward would be, though, nor do I know how I would handle it. So I'm thinking on it, but someday maybe that reward will exist. Oh, now we're like back.
Oh, yes, the 2 doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
And I think it's just the same, yeah. And then we're in our office.
And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
What's happening now? What's this ending?
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions, he would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good.
What?
I did enjoy telling his story so very much.
For good?
Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Don't retire me for good. I've got more endings to find. I think I remember one that I didn't do.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Oh, this is
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Why is this like this? They're forcing me to go this way when I didn't want to. What's gonna happen? Oh, no, they're not. We're okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
So I think...
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years
there was
ago.
a choice that I made way back when, down there.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
There was a
Give me a
collectible
chance.
there.
Now listen
That's the
carefully,
one
this
that
is
they didn't
important.
show
Stanley
in any of the
walked
memories.
through the red door.
And I went through the red door last time. This time I'm ignoring
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
No.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Goodbye.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see.
Yeah.
Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback.
Oh, is this baby?
There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
What happens if I don't? You know what I'm saying? All right, we're going to do it this time, but then we're going to come back to this ending and take a different option.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Honestly, not that thrilled.
Oh, well, now this is useful. You didn't like it, but you didn't totally hate it either. You enjoyed it, perhaps is the correct term. It didn't cause you excruciating pain. Big steps we've made here today, Stanley. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Okay, what do we got? Okay. A leaderboard? Do we think this is real? "21 skip the intro. 3%, the worst 3%. 98.9% are more attracted than Stanley." That's nice. Wow, I've been playing this game for 7.5 hours. That's crazy. Ask some friends for... Oh, I'm collectively the worst. Oh, I have no friends? Come on. That's not very nice. A dead rat is ahead of me? Come on. It's not very nice. Stanley parable / narrator. What else you got? Got anything else to give me? Or are you starting this over? Starting this loop over. Great.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors?
I found it a
Again,
little sad.
honest answers, please.
But, like, it was better content, so I'll give you that one.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
I think this is the baby.
In this
there
game,
it is.
the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Okay. Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
This is a lot. Remix. We're gonna let the baby hit the fire.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes. This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
What game is he going to give me? What's happening?
Aha!
Oh, I love this
Fascinating.
game.
What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation?
Is this game from the same developers?
Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower.
That's not...
Perhaps for some sort of twisted, erotic purpose.
That's not what this game about is about at all.
Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
This game is... Look, this game really moved me when I played it. It really upset me. One of the best voice acting performances, really, ever. Who fire watches the fire watch? Oh, is this supposed to be like, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy? Wow. I really... is this game owned by the same company? Shelby, if you're there, will you Google Stanley Parable and Firewatch and see if there's an ownership alliance?
Oh, no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly, block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing, that big, open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Okay. Wow, Rocket League.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun. Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought, and I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out.
Hey,
Here comes another ball.
Octopus,
Yes.
do you know if...
Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it?
If
Stanley,
Parable
I'm like a
and
child in a
Firewatch were the
confectionery
same
shop. I
developers?
simply have to have more. I'm insatiable.
But I guess that's a
More
question for Rocket League,
balls.
too. Oh, my God. Too many balls. She said. Gotta score all the balls.
Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun? Is this a real video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over. That's right.
Why?
Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I'm structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much, but who knows? You're an inventive kid, you'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley.
The shortest answer, Shelby, is that after we did the really annoying game, I got sent into Firewatch, and I wasn't sure if Firewatch and Stanley Parable, like, shared a developer, maybe? But then after Firewatch, he got stressed by the open world nature of the game, which is very funny because Firewatch is distinctly non-open world. It's super linear. And sent me to a game with very tall walls, and I ended up in Rocket League. Now, what's interesting about this, Octopus, is that this ending is from the original game. So I think that they've extended this ending as new content. Like, the ending I just walked through, I remember from the last game, but I don't remember getting into Rocket League. So I think the ending's just been upped. Maybe I jump in this hole?
Hold on. What are you doing?
Is that how I do it? Did I do it? Did I beat it? Oh!
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back. We still have so much.
Oh my God! What do I do? Narrator? Oh, there's my annoying neighbor with... Oh, I fell down a hole. I didn't see the hole. Where am I now? Ah! Computers. What's this? Can I go over here? No. It's like very dark. Can't see. But I don't see anything I could do. There's no big button. I don't know where I am, Shelby. I'm flabbergasted. What is happening?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Octopus, Shelby and I found the absolute
A
wildest...
soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
We found the absolute wildest ending, and it was horrifying. Also, all the computers are busted. We're in a new ending now. I think I'm gonna stay bucket list for a little while. Do you think, Shelby, that there's an ending that if I agreed to play that indie game he created with the baby clicker for 4 hours, that there would be an ending? Like if I committed to doing that? I don't think I can commit to doing that. I think that's too
When
much.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Is there anything I've been meaning to do to the left? Oh! Hey, Whitland. Welcome. Yeah. I just don't know that I have it in me to click that button for 4 straight hours. Maybe that's a thing I'll do like during like an AMA someday. Like an AMA with Ned / he's gonna see if there's an ending there. I just don't think I can bring myself to do it right now.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
What else can I find? So it feels like there's got to be more.
Stanley was so
endings the way I
bad
just
at following
went.
directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Okay, so the last time we did this, we went through the blue door all of the times. So this time we're going to go through the blue door once.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood.
And then go through
Stanley
the red
walked
door?
through the red door. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop.
I've done this ending.
We would both be so much happier
It's just
if
the
we
ending
just
if I took
stopped.
the red door at the beginning.
And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
We're going to get to the like glowing, colorful lights.
What do we want?
Yeah.
What are we looking for? Here. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's
We've done this
beautiful,
ending.
isn't it? If we just stay
is
right
the
here,
ending that
right in this moment with
content
this
warning
place, Stanley,
only end
I
by
think
killing
I
yourself.
feel happy. I actually feel happy. No, wait. Where are you going? Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself,
I'm going to reset it because that ending is kind of upsetting. And I've already done it once. Okay. What else do we have? We found the tape.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I do remember an ending from the original. Maybe I'll do that on the next path. Where, like...
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
can find
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the
like,
employee
there's a
lounge
computer
first,
that
just
has,
to
like,
admire
an input
it.
screen on it, and if you click it,
It was
makes another
okay.
computer have an input screen. I think if you like run
But
around
eager
looking
to
for
get
those
back to
computers,
business, Stanley took the first open door on his
if you
left.
go through those computers, eventually you get the right. You get a.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look,
feel
Stanley,
like
I
it
think
takes
perhaps we've
forever
gotten
to
off
get
on the
to the
wrong
appointments.
foot
There's
here.
gotta be something.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
gotta be
I
a
realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
So
Please,
this.
stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley.
So if she's
your
waiting for
chance
me,
to
is there a
redeem
way to
yourself,
keep her-
to put your work
I could run
aside,
and jump now,
to let
but I don't
her
think
back
that'll
into
do
your
it.
life. She's been waiting.
Is there a way that I can choose not to talk to her?
That's her, Stanley. You need
Alright,
to
I'm
be the
just not
one to
gonna
do
pick up for a
this,
second.
to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Let's see if there's any narration if I just let it ring for a minute. Oh shoot, I was gonna run an ad, figuring that was good content while we wait, but doesn't look like, it looks like you all just got an ad. Sorry. way to knock out the light? So a light switch. Oh, idea.
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
So the real question is, do I listen to this narrator or do I break the choice? They won't let me jump like I could before.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Okay. Oh. Now this ending I can do again with the bucket, I think. And I should.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Do I listen? I mean, we've gotten here by making all the wrong choices. The question is, are there 2 different endings based on this? So sorry about Nightbot, Whitland Timbers. That is a Nightbot special. You can come back in 5 seconds. Give me 1. Yeah. I need to get, like, you know, I don't want to have humans moderate. So Nightbot works. I just need to, like, fine tune Nightbot. Left or right? Left is the way the game tells me to go, but I got here by only going the way the game didn't tell me to go. That's not entirely true, but I did follow that path forever. Oh, that's what you typed. I was hoping you typed right or left, you know, so that I could have a choice, know what choice I want to make here. I can always come back to this ending. Yeah, I delegate my choices, Whitland. You have to know how that goes. You work in corporate. I think I'm going to break the leader.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Thanks, Nightbot. Oh, I don't have a choice. All right. Left it is. Can I open this door? No.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to. I'm still here in this pile of rubbish, with you who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child.
Okay.
Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make...
I broke a nail.
...behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means behave exactly as Stanley would. That means
I don't like
behave exactly as Stanley would. That means 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 behave exactly as Stanley would. That means
What? Does it just
behave
this now?
exactly as Stanley would. That means behave exactly as Stanley
How do I
would. That
break
means
the cycle?
behave exactly as Stanley would. That means
I broke the game.
behave exactly as Stanley would. That means behave exactly as Stanley would. That means
How do I fix it?
behave exactly as Stanley would. That means behave exactly as Stanley would. That means
Hopeful Cases, welcome to the stream. We're currently
behave
in the middle
exactly
of
as Stanley
a...
would.
Hi!
That means
That's so exciting. Also, human beings
behave
following.
exactly as
Hello,
Stanley
everybody.
would. That means
We're in the middle of the Stanley Parable, and
behave
I've
exactly as
broken the
Stanley
game.
would. That means
Oh my God, so many
behave
people.
exactly as Stanley
Hello.
would. That
People
means
everywhere. Raid time. I haven't written my... Oh,
behave
is that
exactly
a
as
Will
Stanley would.
Boyajian?
That
Will
means
Boyajian face is the best.
behave
I
exactly
will
as Stanley would.
stretch. Thank
That
you.
means
Let's go. Also, I've
behave
broken the
exactly
game,
as
and I think I
Stanley
need to hit
would.
restart.
That-
Welcome to the Stanley Parable, everyone. I'm Ned. I'm an actor. I'm a producer. I went to college with Hopeful Cases, also known as Will Boyajian, also known as one of the coolest dudes I know. And I stream story games. I stream games that are built on story and narration and excitement so that the chat can have a story-driven, fun experience just like I can. I'm not much of a competitive game player, though sometimes I do on my own time. But we're here doing story-driven things. And this is the Stanley Parable, which is a game about a narrator who can narrate every choice you might possibly make. And we're constantly on the hunt for new narration opportunities that we've never experienced before. Thank you, Will, for rating. Thank you, everyone, for swinging through. I'm so excited to have you. And let's... I thought there might be a way to stay in this room and have the narrator say something, but I'm going to try something. I'm just going to close the door.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Thank you for the follow, Cyberfake Cafe. I don't like to interrupt the narrator when the narrator's going so that people can experience the narration. But thank you for the follow. And Will is one of the dearest humans. Was very excited for Will to come join my wife and I at our wedding party last fall. And I love Will. Didn't get to live with Will in college, but would have adored doing that. All right. So, what can I glean? I have to take the bucket, and I have to unplug.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were.
Well, that's
just a matter of time.
New. That's a new narration. We're gonna take the bucket. We're gonna go unplug the rotary phone.
Stanley's bucket, the only co-worker he would ever truly need.
Because there was a
Stanley
phone.
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the
buckets.
meeting room. But
There was
Stanley
a-
had
in the
felt the
buckets
bucket
version of
calling
this
to
ending,
him,
there was a
telling
phone.
him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
I
No,
created
said
a
the
bunch of
bucket.
emotes of my face.
Don't go to the
Jennifer
meeting
Ann
room.
41
Go somewhere
seems to have
else.
discovered
The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go good,
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top.
That's the
There's
hype-
something up there I need you to do.
face.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets
That's the
can't
face.
talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this
God,
obvious
happy,
fact. He was firmly
hype,
convinced that
and
the bucket
welp.
had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly
And
did
hype.
whatever the bucket asked.
So many people. It's so exciting
In
to
here,
have everyone
said the
here.
bucket.
Thank you
Go
for
into this
coming.
dark room over here.
Stanley,
for
once
those of
again,
you-
obeyed blindly.
For those of you who don't know me, by the way, I'm Ned. I'm an actor, content creator, singer, producer, writer. I do a lot of different stuff. If you dig me, I'm excited to have you. Come follow. We stream, 2-3 times a week. Always story-driven games. We've been making our way through Wildermyth. We've been playing Stanley Parable. We've been playing the 1997 Blade Runner. Probably next we're going to be picking up Disco Elysium, which I'm really excited to play. Also, I'm a podcaster. My number one podcast is Hey! Thank you, Hopeful Cases, for the subscription. I truly appreciate you. Too many. I'm so sorry. We have a Nightbot gets mad over spamming emotes, and also too many caps and too many repeats. I'm still trying to figure out the right Nightbot settings. I'm new to this whole world. We are also, you can find my podcast, Encounter Party, which is a Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast featuring 6 professional actors playing a Dungeons & Dragons campaign set inside the Magic the Gathering realm of Ravnica, and heavily edited, so about 3 to 3.5 hours of audio gets edited down into about 50 minutes episodes. We were featured on Apple New and Noteworthy. We've charted in 50 countries. We are slowly coming up on 500,000 lifetime downloads. Would love for you to check it out. That is Encounter Party. And then you can also check out my action comedy, rock, musical, mockumentary web series about New York City vampire slayers called The Hunted Encore, which if you go to thehuntedencore.com, that will list all the places you can watch it. And if you go to encounterparty.com, you can start your journey through our podcast. Would love for you to check it out. Thank you, everyone, for swinging through. Thank you, Hopeful Cases, for bringing people and for subscribing. All in all, Will, you are a gentleman and a scholar. All right,
Now
we're
pick
back
up
to the
the
phone.
phone.
Said
Can
the
I
bucket.
unplug
Pick up the phone, and it will take
with
us
the
back.
bucket? I can!
Oh, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket. Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's
got a
sitting
video.
right here. Let's take a look.
Give me the video. Oh.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters
Hey,
from
thank you
them
for the
in a room
follow.
of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name.
Ned.
Next,
N-E-D.
provide a brief synopsis of the joke,
My
including
joke.
the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh.
I don't have a joke
And
fired
then
up, unfortunately.
spell out your name a second time.
N-E-D.
With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, I'm Dunny with the funny now.
I'm Dunny with the funny. I'm Dunny with the
Good.
funny.
This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys.
Surveys.
Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence and to very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Okay, so first I have to tell a joke in that manner. So we have, I have to go like this, and then I go, why are you here, Nightbot? You're supposed to show up on the 45-minute mark. Gotta figure that out. NED. Have you ever seen an elephant hiding in tall grass? Damn, they're good hiders. NED. I'm Dunny with the funny. And then I'm supposed to give you a survey, so... let's see. How was my comedic delivery? Great. Okay. Better than okay. Awesome. Truly terrible. Poll coming in, everybody. I'm following instructions. All right, there's a poll. Do your thing. All right, so we have officially launched a poll to answer the survey question based on the rules of the Stanley Parable. In the meantime, we're going to follow through on this. I'm Dunny with the funny is very funny, and I feel like actually would kill on an open mic.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery.
Is the narrator
You'll be
gonna
in
spell
stitches.
narrator?
A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
That has really harmed me in many acting choices. All right, we're coming on in.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
We are not doing that. We're going right. Oh. Last time it was just a loop, but this is an actual ending. I'm gonna have to do this whole thing again. Oh!
We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There was supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point, a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my... Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
No.
What? We're back at the phone already? No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Here we go. You ready?
So I feel
When
like it just
Stanley and
does
the
that
bucket
until
came to
I
a set
go
of two
left.
open doors,
That's the
they
loop.
entered the door on the left.
Let's try it one more time to see if that's true.
What?
Yeah, okay.
We're back at the phone already?
All right.
No. Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left. No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
What now? Oh my God.
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame?
Oh, it just gets me to some credits. That's
What's another
fun.
word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal, I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
Oh, are we back? We are back, and I don't hear anything, which means we're, like, legitimately back. So... okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Aha! This is what I remember. I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, so I gotta look for all the computers that look like this. Are there... where... is it this? But I can't because the door closed. I think I need to go backwards. Okay. Okay. Can I get more from you? I don't understand. I feel like I've missed something. Maybe I'll have to get it on the next pass. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So now that I've found all the collectibles...
Yet there was not a single person here either.
This is returned to
Feeling
the
a
original.
wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay. So the real question is... where else
Coming
can
to
I
a
find
staircase,
stuff?
Stanley
I feel like I
walked
haven't found
upstairs
enough
to his
new
boss's office.
content. There's gotta be more, which means there's more in the places I've already gone. We're still shooting a panda in the head. And we can still do this to do elevator music, but it doesn't actually take us anywhere. It just plays elevator music. And then we're done. That's it. That's the whole thing. Come back out. So we'll go into the boss's office. Do you have anything going on? No.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh,
Thanks, man.
hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
That was very helpful. Thank you, man. I wonder... I did the thing where I rode the elevator. I wonder if I can ride it more than once. They made fun of me for doing it. So let's try that. We're going to ride the elevator a lot. We're going to see what we find. And thank you again, Hopeful Cases, for coming into the chat, bringing your party with you. What an incredible thing. Really thankful for all of you swinging through. I'm Ned. I would love for you all to continue hanging around. I would love for you all to consider following. And I would love for you to kind of join this random community of misfits of cool people that tends to hang out and go on story-driven
Whoops.
games with
Nope.
me.
Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Okay. So if we ride it again, we came up here, it didn't do anything, but then we continued with the story, and I wonder if I can just keep riding it up and down. Oh! This is... no, the same. Okay. So I come in here, and he makes fun of the boss's office.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator.
go back down.
It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Thanks, narrator. We're going back down.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
Yeah, that was the other thing I decided to do since I got affiliate. I've renamed channel points to Ned points, because why not? That's fun.
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
He will not, narrator.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Well, you're very snarky. Happy Day Painter, the answer to that question is like, yeah. So this is a remake of a game from 2013, and they re-released it and they added a ton of new content. And this whole game is about making fun of narrative choice and game theory and everything else. And the whole game is, can you trick the narrator? Can you find new things that they narrated you didn't think they would possibly narrate? So on and so forth. And when you launch the game and you play through it twice, or something like that, 2 or 3 times, all of a sudden they open a new door that says new content. And you go into the new content door, and they show you all the new content that they're adding to the game, and the narrator takes you through it. And one of the things they added to the game is a item known as the Reassurance Bucket. And the bucket supposedly brings a sense of calm and understanding to Stanley. And what they've used it for is basically every ending you can find without the bucket then has a version of the ending with the bucket. And so the bucket basically serves as an initial choice that re-dictates what ending you're going to be going into early on in the game. And that's the bucket. The reassurance bucket. Oh!
Oh my God. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this.
Oh. It is entirely a metagame about games. It has there's no winning, there's no losing. It's just, can you experience
Okay, I'm
the
ready.
story?
I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
Oh, great. Give me back that screen. I like this screen. What's unclear to me, because the game was so long ago, I haven't played it since 2013, is like what endings actually were from the original game and what are new to this updated version. Like, I don't know if what we're doing right now was ever in the original game. I don't remember it.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Back down the elevator.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Joke's on you, narrator. We're going back up. At some point, we have to get to an end.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow?
Oh, okay.
There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate, and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley, because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you.
What?
So that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better.
Oh.
Oh, good, we're here.
Okay,
Is this
the
the
room where
pink
we're
room?
holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
I like these stock photos a lot. And then Stanley.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
Conversation with Alexander the Great. It's very funny.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get 'em.
Break a leg, champ, your boss. I love the way you ride the elevator. Stanley, me, dad, age 6. Oh, dead? David? Me, David, age 6. Got it. Thanks for showing me that cool skateboard trick in the parking lot. You're too cool. Awesome. I skateboard. Stanley, my true love for you grows every day. You make me feel alive. Your wife from the apartment ending. That's funny. I didn't get to meet her because they replaced her with a mannequin in that ending. Stanley reveals all in his new book. The coworkers gave me this painting. I can putt. Is that a thing I can do right now? No. All right. Well, let's climb the stairs and give the people what they want. The dude who came up with pizza. Oh, crap. Is that the ending? It looks like the ending. Alright, so that's the... Oh! This is new.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What is this?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
is
Perhaps
the
he had
whiteboard
simply
ending.
missed a memo.
I can turn on dog mode at least. I like dog mode. Now every time I click, it's a dog. Dog mode! Alright. Do I pick up the bucket and try the elevator ending again? That's been my modus thus far. So,
Is Stanley, without the bucket, really Stanley at all? No, sure.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
That's true, because I have to go get the thing. I must.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his bosses...
Stanley, we must move on from this broom
closet
closet,
is done.
simply because I have no room.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Hey, Rexy, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for swinging through. It's going great. We're playing the Stanley Parable. We found a ton of new content today. And Hopeful Cases and his viewers took a raid through, and it's been really fun and exciting. So honestly, I'm having a really great stream. How are you? Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
This is a joy of a game. Really having a blast. Really having a fantastic time finding my way through the content. The endings are surprising. There's been some really fun new stuff. There's the classic stuff and then twists on it.
The
It's
elevator
honestly
raced
really
downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right.
The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
But then we go back up. We're gonna do the same ending we just did, but this time we have a bucket.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again.
Okay. I'll press
Bucket
the number
said
3
nothing.
again. Come on, Bucket, respond to me. Sometimes you do. Okay.
Here we
Yeah,
are, said
I've
Stanley.
done some of
Now
those
I'm
as
going
well.
to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and... Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Okay, well, back I will go. I don't even remember what the Tuesday one is, Rex.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly. A hint of regret nagged in the back of Stanley's mind. Should he demonstrate the number 3 for the bucket again?
Yes, going back up.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel.
Yes.
He
Tell
smiled
that
at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
Come on, Bucket, talk to me. Oh. That's a wild achievement. I'm not much of an
Here
achievement
we go,
hunter,
said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears, and the whole time he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
Yeah, I will do some achievement hunting, and I'm more of an achievement hunter on console games, funny enough, than I am on.
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
Okay, well, we're gonna go back up again, which took us to the ending last time, but I don't know what we're gonna get this time. That was fast. That was faster than before.
Ah, said Stanley. I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there
instead of the
that he would
5-year
hold a
achievement,
press conference
which,
where he would speak to
the
the
original
public
Stanley
on
Parable
all
doesn't
matters
work on
relating
Mac,
to
so I
pressing
can't
the
launch
number
it, but I
3
should have
over
that
and
one ready to
over.
go.
He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work.
We're back here again. Okay, and I also, yeah, you can also...
For months, he advertised
also
and
time
marketed his
travel.
press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
Let's see if there's anything new here. Oh, we got all threes this time
This
around.
was it. One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
A shockingly three-dimensional character is extremely funny. It's over here. 3 again, 3 again. Still 427 though. Okay, let's head on up.
There was no one here.
No.
Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure, and in that moment Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously.
No.
There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
What a bummer of an ending. We're going to take a quick break, everybody, and I'm going to run ads because I'm coming up on that time anyway. And then we'll be back to do probably 2 more endings, and then I'll be done for the day. Thank you all for swinging through. Stick around. You're going to lose audio for 1 second because this game doesn't have good lose focus for when I have to press buttons elsewhere. So I'll keep talking to disguise the fact that you've lost sound, you know what I mean? And we click start, and we click that. Oh, that text is way too big. Hold on. We're gonna nip that in the bud real quick. Isn't this fun? You get to see it in real time. We're gonna just press that. And maybe no? Yeah, that's better. And we are back. Hello, I refilled my water. So, we are on the hunt for more
All of his
endings.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I wonder if there's anything related to the fact that every time I take the bucket to an old ending...
As Stanley lifted his bucket, he felt a connection to all buckets everywhere.
So is
This
there
adventure, he decided, was for all of them.
No, unfortunately, the bucket does not have its own whiteboard ending. But we can activate dog mode again. I like dog mode. So, we are...
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest
We're gonna
and
follow
entered
orders.
the door on his left.
I want to look around the mind control facility. I feel confident there's either endings I haven't found or new endings
Still
to
no
be
one was
found.
here. Stanley needed the
Mind
bucket's warmth and
control.
comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where... Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the... But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes,
Is
this
the
is
standard
certainly the most
ending
logical
the freedom
explanation.
ending, Octopus Totem? Like, where I follow all the choices to their natural conclusion? Yeah, I have. So in that one, the door starts to open, like in the freedom ending where you don't have the bucket, and then you find out the building won't let the bucket go, and the door closes again, and you're trapped in infinite darkness with the bucket, and then the game resets.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Like, maybe there's like a way to jump. No.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Are any of these desks I can climb on?
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock.
No.
Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Don't cry, Bucket. It's gonna be okay.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
So before we are forced to make a choice here.
But here was the proof.
I'm
The
gonna-
heart of the
Get up
operation.
here.
Controls
How
labeled
do I
with
get up there?
emotions.
There's
Happy
stairs.
or sad or
It's
content.
very dark.
Walking, eating, working, all of it
locked.
monitored and commanded from this very place.
Okay.
And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
There's something up there. That's a door. So there's an ending where you get up to that door. How do I get up to that door? Maybe I needed to not have the bucket. So, was it just this one I was able to stand on? It's a desk I was just able to stand on. Standing on a desk historically has been a red flag for you could do something new here. Okay. Can I stand? What's this? Okay. Oh, that's interesting. There are stairs down and a walkway across. I don't know that I've ever seen this walkway across. It doesn't do anything, but that's an interesting tidbit. The next time I play, I'll be honest, I may look up some endings, because I now... Ah! Where am I? I cannot see. Can I go this way? No. Can I go... I can't jump. There's gotta be something to whatever I just climbed. There's a door. Is this what I entered through? No. There is a door here. I thought that was gonna be something. It was not. Up there's a button, but I can't get to it. Back here, there's more monitors. Alright, so maybe I have found everything that's in here. Hey, thanks, Rex. Enjoyed dinner. Thank you for swinging through. Really glad to have you. Thank you for coming by. Also, and again, thank you for subscribing. Really appreciate that.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Wouldn't there be something fun if you could jump here? I don't remember what happens if I turn it on with the bucket. I do remember what happens if I turn it off with the bucket. A Luigi dab, that's a good emote, Rex.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen.
Right. It's silly
Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
So this allows me to switch through silly birds. A lot of silly birds, everybody.
Stanley
Check
flipped
out
through
silly
one video of
birds.
silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Is that back to the beginning? I want to come back down here without the bucket. I think it was a mistake to have the bucket. Also, I want to look for more computers with the awaiting input. Again, not normal. Why are they keeping me from the normal start?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his
Yeah,
left.
Silly Birds is a good ending. I had found it before.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
There have been 4 computers that aren't on, and I'm sort of wondering if something you do turns them on.
Here's the door, just go.
Thanks, man. Alright, we're going down. We're going down. Alright. Let's see what we find.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I just feel like there were so few endings in here, but it's such a long ending that there's gotta be stuff. Now, I know, Octopus, you told
The
me
lights
you looked it
rose
up,
on
and
an
there's no way
enormous
to
room
stop
packed with
the
television
countdown,
screens.
But I wonder
What
if that
horrible
room
secret did this
has
place hold?
something
Stanley thought to himself.
before I
Did he
launch
have
the
the strength
countdown,
to
or if
find
there's
out?
a way to escape the room once the countdown's active. I know that goes against literally what you told me, but
Now the
I
monitors
feel like
jumped to life,
the
their
other
true
endings
nature revealed.
aren't this
Each
long.
bore the number of an
Or they have
employee in the building,
choices
Stanley's
along the way.
co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
We're hunting.
But
Oh,
here
okay.
was the proof.
These
the heart
stairs
of
I
the
came in
operation.
before were the
Controls
entrance.
labeled with emotions.
Bummer.
Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his
How do I
past
get
began
up
to
there?
sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Does anyone remember how I got up onto this that one time I did it? Wasn't paying attention to myself, and I feel like it's important. Okay. I just think there's something in here. Now, I would like to find it. But maybe there's not. Maybe I'm all out of whack. And I will admit, oh! Hey, thank you for the follow. It's that noise surprises me and scares me every time. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Okay. Well, I think I gotta go do the thing. Let's get the lights on, right? Don't the lights turn on once I press the go button? Come on.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for
There's gotta
yourself.
be a
Is
way
that
to
what
beat
you
this.
wanted?
Andrew,
Control?
Octopus, I know you told me that I couldn't. I can't.
Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw...
You know what? I have an idea. This may not work out. I'm starting over. Because I'm coming up on the end of the stream. I'm going to finish up at 6 o'clock, everybody. Now, why won't they let
All
me?
of his
They're
co-workers
just
were
not
gone.
letting me go back
What
to
could
the
it
base
mean?
game.
Stanley
I
decided to go
wonder
to the meeting room.
why.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What am I not
When
experiencing?
Stanley came to a set of two
Or am
open
I
doors,
experiencing?
he entered the door on his
They're
left.
not letting me take the normal walk through the game.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So what I'm going to try is, can I escape the console?
Here's the door, just go.
Thanks. Can I escape the room with all the monitors? The one that I've just been following to try and get to. That's the real question. Okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
This room. Is there a way to escape?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
What?
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section.
Hey!
You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are. We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. Railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job, you did it.
Great. Yeah, you nailed it. You came right back at a new ending that I found that apparently was a recreation of a bug from 2013 that I didn't find in 2013. So this is the regular
All of his
one.
co-workers
So
were gone. What could it mean?
these monitors are
Stanley
never
decided
off.
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Why
No
is
matter
that
how
one
hard
on
Stanley
and the other
looked,
ones are
he
off?
couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ah! That's new. What did I just do? Can I turn this one off? I can. What about... Hey! Awaiting input! Okay, so every time I start back up, I can do an input, is what it sounds like? Well, then we're gonna take the fastest option through the game. Which, unfortunately, for those with sensitive content warning, I'm gonna
When
kill
Stanley
myself.
came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge
So if you don't want
first,
content
just to
of
admire
watching
it.
someone fall, maybe
It was
look
okay.
away for a few seconds, because we're gonna try and reset the game
But
without...
eager to get back to
I'm
business,
never quite sure
Stanley
if
took the
restarting
first
through
open
the
door on his
exit
left.
screen holds the choices you made, so I'm just gonna end.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Now, something I'm unclear on is if I can jump off of those. Oh. The actual craziest ending in the whole game that I've found is coming to right here with the bucket and going that way. But can I jump?
But in his eagerness
Yes, I
to
can.
prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
We're going to end on that crazy one because some people weren't here then. We're going to finish up and do... Oh, no! Okay, we're... Get me back. Come on. So it forces me into the same choice every time. So the awaiting input is going to have to take a while. All right, well, then we're going to do our final ending for the day.
What
Give me the
new
bucket.
mysteries lay in store for our bucket-loving
And I'm gonna
heroes
show
today?
everyone what I
Stanley
think is
clutched
the
the bucket tightly to his
wildest
chest.
ending.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
This is how we're going to finish
But
up,
Stanley
everybody.
had felt the bucket
For those of
calling
you
to
who are
him,
here, thank you
telling
for
him
swinging
that the
through. Hopeful
employee
Cases, if you're still
lounge
here,
was
thank
simply
you
the
for
place
bringing
to
your
be.
community. And if you're
And
here from
here
the
it
Hopeful Cases
was.
community,
Had the
I hope you'll
bucket
come
turned
back.
out to be correct?
I'm
Was this
Ned.
no,
Thank you
never
to
mind.
everyone who helped me get to
bucket was
affiliate
wrong.
earlier this week.
Stanley took the door on his
I
left
am
to go back
an
to the
actor,
meeting room.
producer, podcaster. I make a lot of cool content. I have a lot of cool stuff in the works that I can't quite talk about
No,
yet, but I'm hoping
said the bucket.
that I'll be able
Don't
to
go
talk
to the
about it in
meeting
the next,
room.
you
Go
know,
somewhere else. The
couple
cargo
of-
lift,
couple
yes.
of weeks,
Go there.
couple of months,
Go to the
we'll
cargo
see.
lift.
And I stream 2 to 3 times a week in the meantime, always story-driven, character-driven stuff. And I would love for you to swing through. I'm going to be in Los Angeles next week, and I leave tomorrow for Austin, Texas. So I don't know if I'll be streaming for the next couple weeks, but if I can, I will. You know, if the internet's good enough, maybe I'll stream once or twice from a hotel. Probably stream Wildermyth, which is what I'm having the most fun with. And then after I finish Stanley Parable and feel like I've found everything, I'm going to switch over to Disco Elysium, which I'm really excited to fire up. So this, by the way, for those of you who weren't here earlier, is the absolute craziest ending in the game. So if you come here without the bucket, the narrator is on a tape loop, and all of these are like different dialogues, and then you press pause, and the narrator laughs at you and says, like, did you really think I was just a tape, that I was all in your head, which is very funny. The bucket version is insane. And with this, I leave you to the craziest ending.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
What is Gambarata? Gambarata? That's insane! That is insane. Anyway, I'm finishing up for the day. Thank you to everyone who swung through. Oh, hey, we're coming back. It brought me back where I wanted to be.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
None of what you are saying makes sense to me. Neither Whitland Timbers nor Octopus Totem. One of these computers has to say awaiting input somewhere. Where else is there a computer? Nothing back in the first room.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Maybe it's the... Okay, we're gonna try the secretary's desk.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Hey! Nailed it. Okay. How do I get to a good ending now?
Here's the door, just go.
Okay. That makes me excited. 3 of 5 according to that screen. Maybe nothing will happen, but I have a feeling there's an ending when I get all 5. What's the fastest?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large
Probably
door that read Mind Control
this.
Facility.
This is
Although
probably the
this
fastest
passageway
ending.
had the word Escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
So I go this way, and then I
The
get
door
it,
behind
the
him was
woman's
not
voice,
shut.
And then I have to
Stanley
just run
still
really
had
fast
every
through the
opportunity to turn
behind-the-scenes
around and get
ending,
back on
and then I
track.
get brought back, and I get squished to death.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Schloink. Okay. Okay.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise,
Wonder if I
he
can just
reflected that
reset. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna hope for the best. I don't want to make it through the ending, but I'm worried that means I'm not gonna have gotten the secretary. But I really want to find all these inputs.
all
I
of
don't
his
think I'm gonna
co-workers were
remember the next time
gone.
I play.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Come on, new awaiting input. Anywhere? Oh no. Oh no. If I don't find one in a second. Ah!
No
yes!
matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace.
I can reset. Okay. One more to
All
find.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Where are the computers?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Come on. Be in here. I don't remember where else there are computers. Oh no. Where is the final one? Is there any if you go right? Does anyone remember? If you take the right path, is there ever anywhere with a computer? Anywhere? Like almost feels worth looking up because I'm, stream over.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the
This
meeting
way.
room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Is there a
It
computer
was okay.
here?
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Is there a computer in here? Hey, Paul, how's it going? I have, Neil. I've gone through the bucket. The bucket is fully stickered with the broom closet stickers. That is true. Right now, we are on the hunt for the last awaiting input computer, and I've gone everywhere that I remember there being computers. Does anyone have any idea who's texting me? Who are you? Someone texting me the answer? I'd be so thrilled if someone was texting me the answer to this problem.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
We're gonna reset. I think I've passed all the computers. What computer could possibly have it? Oh! Great! What does this do? Paul, this game is insane, and I don't really have a way to explain it right now. What you should know about this game is that it's a meta game about games, making fun of gamer choice and agency, and it's wild. Do I press one of these buttons? Ah! Do I just press all the buttons? That can't be it. It's just a voice saying buttons? There's gotta be something else to this ending. They eventually turn back on. Oh no! Oh no! Why? What a disappointment. I was about to run in a circle pressing buttons infinitely, which I guess is the point. Anyone know what happens now? Is it just this? Well, that's wild. I can make it look like either one is moving based on if I force my mouse to align with the speed of the turn. So right now, they're only moving left. Right now, they're only moving right. That's very fun to me. That's very trippy. I think this is it. I think you're right, Jennifer Ann. We're gonna quit to menu. Oh my god! That says epilogue. Did I find all the endings? Is that it? Did we just beat the Stanley Parable 2 by finding everything? Yeah, that's the perfect time for the hype face, Jennifer Ann. That's why I made it. Are we retiring the game? What? Oh my god! This is heaven. I don't like That's nice. This is the Memory Palace. Wait, don't blink away from this. Please, don't blink away from this. Where's my narrator? This is the narrator's favorite place. Guys, the bucket came back to Earth because I launched it. This was so long ago. I have the bucket. This is fitting. I wonder if I could do the epilogue without the bucket. If maybe the bucket, if there are two epilogues, one with bucket, one without. But I guess you only get it if you launch the bucket off into space, which is one of the first things I did, which is pretty cool. Shout out to Happy Accidents. The generator's still going. What's going on? This is amazing. I'm so enthralled. What's down here? What? Cookie Nine's blog. Hey! Cookie 9! Like so many, I enjoyed my time with the original Stanley Parable, which underscores how truly disappointed I am with its sequel. Where the first game teamed with originality, the Stanley Parable 2 is dull, uninspired, and often insulting to its fan base. Rather than expand on what made the first game enjoyable, the sequel veers off into territory nobody asked for. An infinitely deep hole? Who cares? Where are the new endings? What about enjoyable bits from the Stanley Parable 1, like the adventure line? Instead, we get an uninspired, I lost my place. Side quest collecting figurines. Even this diversion feels incomplete. Collecting all the figurines gives you nothing. I must say, though, I found the bucket to be quite comforting. A welcome reprieve from Can't Scroll. This is very funny because if you remember from the beginning of the new content, the narrator was very upset with Cookie Nine's original review of the Stanley Parable, and that is the comment that caused all of the new content in this new version of the game. So that's very funny. We like it. Cat Dog Born. Cool. Okay. You all are probably going to get a commercial soon. So I'm actually going to run... You're going to lose audio for a second. I'm going to run a 30-second ad break so that it doesn't happen while we're going through the epilogue. I'm still here. Some of you may not get this, but some of you should have a 30-second ad. Because that's how this works. I wonder, that's a good, Whitland. I wonder if I can tell Nightbot to continue to spam words and phrases to block that, except for any variant on ha 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 ha. Feels worthwhile. I'm just talking to myself. Some of you might be here. Some of you are in an ad, which only has 5 seconds remaining. Okay. We've completed a 30-second ad. I think I can keep going. Here we go. Oh. We got buttons. What do they say? Name, the name button. Great. Stanley Parable developers. No more spin-offs, no more sequels. When the Stanley Parable launched to a massive success in 2013, its creators made plans to build the property into an entire franchise. But a disastrous critical and commercial reception of the Stanley Parable 2 has prompted the developers to rethink their ambitions, as outlined in a press release they published today. It's clear that more Stanley Parable is just not what the fans want, reads the press release. We thought we had a vision for the series that players would be excited about, yet it turns out this could not have been farther from the truth. The press release goes on to promise to preserve the artistic integrity of the original game and to stop its assaulting fans with our reckless and insulting creative visions. The word sorry appears more than 25 times in the press release. Great. Oh, man. This is very funny. And there's no telling if the bucket matters yet. Oh, okay. So this just takes me back to where I just was. This is just a pile of buttons, it looks like. Hey, thanks, Paul. Thanks for swinging through. Enjoy dinner, and I will be sure to pass my greetings to the rest of the party people. I chat with them pretty frequently, and hopefully, as I always say, I'll have something to update you all on very soon. What I can tell you is that there's a lot of progress. So many collectibles! Gimme! All the collectibles! And then I jumped down a hole? Okay. So that's where I just came from. So let me get... I can't go back up. What if I just go like... Oh, God! Thank you for enjoying the new content. You're so welcome, Crows. Also, Crows. Great game. Great work. Hi. Is this where I can finally, you give me the secret of the game? For those of you who weren't here, every time I started the game, I had to input the time, and that made whoever runs the time very sad. And eventually, we got in a huge fight over clicking, and they said they would come back to talk to me one more time again, but it would be a secret, and I honestly forgot about it till right now. It's nice to see you too. It's terrible to learn that there will never be another Stanley Parable game. That is terrible to know, but also makes sense. Did you read what the developer said? Preserve the integrity of the franchise? I did, yes. I read it out loud. What nonsense? I mean, kinda. Stanley Parable is not sacred. We do not need to protect it. Screw the legacy. Let's keep making Stanley Parable games until the sun explodes. Yeah, why not? If you can make money, do it. Let's run this franchise into the ground. Let's drag it through the mud and back. Sure. And if people hate it, who cares? You see, that was the narrator's problem. He was so obsessed with what people thought of his work. That's true. Don't make his mistake. Don't cling to the legacy. Let it burn. It's not hard. In fact, let me show you. Show me. Let's go. Together, we're going to make the Stanley Parable 3. Yes, let's go. It's simple. All we need to do is change the number of the game's title screen. We also need a really dumb subtitle for the game, something loud and gaudy. Go ahead. Try combining some random words together to make a new title for our game. What words are you going to give me? Stanley Parable 3. Forgotten Employee of the Grilled. Story of Stanley's Tiny. Stanley's Tiny is funny. Half employee, half... I ask you, chat, is there anything here that we think matches the Stanley Parable 3? Employee of the Choice feels really nice. Stanley's Tiny Pencil doesn't quite do it. Half employee, half sunshine is fun. Grilled Cowboy. I don't know. Doesn't have the right vibe. Forgotten Choice is interesting because everyone always forgets what they've already done and then they find endings they've already done before. Employee. I think Employee of the Choice is my decision. Employee of the Choice. Confirm. It's epic. Stanley Parable 3, Employee of the Choice. It's absurd. I love it. I also love it. Every time you restart the game, we'll advance the number of the sequel by 1, and then we'll pick a new subtitle. Oh! That way the Stanley Parable will never end. That's funny. And nothing in the game itself will change when you do this either. Adding more content sounds like work. No need to do that. It'll just be the same content recycled again and again and again with a new title screen. What do you say? Should we go forward with this plan? I like it, but I want you to have a say on it. Yeah, let's do it. Good, then it's agreed. A new sequel every time you start the game. And you know what? Since you're putting faith in my idea, I feel like giving you something as well. What's that? You see, I'm noticing that the narrator never found a way to give you the broken achievement, did he? That's true! Of course not. I wouldn't expect him to know how. It's been bothering me. Let's fix it. All right, there. The achievement machine is all fixed. You see? I'm on your side. We're in this together. We're going to keep this train rolling. The Stanley Parable cannot end. It can only spiral in on itself forever. I must keep the wheel turning. I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. Great. There's only one last thing we need to do. Broken achievement? The current time. The current time is 6:23 p.m. He got mad at me for putting in the real time before, but... Please adjust the slider till the computer is barely visible. Too dark. I can now barely see it. I will enjoy the Stanley Parable 3. Employee of the Choice. What? What? What a great way to finish this experience. All right. Hold on. Everyone, thank you for swinging through. This took longer than anticipated because we found the ending. I think we are done streaming the Stanley Parable because we have officially made it through the whole game. I will do some research. If there's anything I missed, I will stream it again. But the next time I stream, or the next week I stream, I will probably be doing Wildermyth and Disco Elysium. And I might be back with Gloomhaven over on the Legend Tree. You never know. So thank you all for swinging through. Thank you to everyone who subscribed today. I really appreciate that. Thank you to everyone who followed today. I really appreciate that. And if you did subscribe, you now have a whole bunch of my faces as emotes to use places. You know what? Feel free. Have fun. Peace out, everybody. That's correct, Octopus Totem. And we'll catch you next time, which may not be till the week after next because I will be out of town, but I have all my stuff, so it's possible I will stream if I'm in a hotel with good internet. Yes! Way to throw a Will Boyagin in the chat at the end of this whole thing. What a good thing. I'm a huge fan of Will Boyagin. Thank you, Hopeful Cases, for raiding through. For those of you from the Hopeful Cases stream, thank you for hanging out. I hope to see you again. I'm actually going, you're going to lose audio for a second because I'm going to go raid somebody, and I don't know who I would like to. No one that I follow is online to raid. Is anyone have a strong opinion about a channel we should go raid? Huh? You know? Like, no one I follow is on. I've got some recommended stuff. Got some people playing Mario Kart 8, which I always love. Oh, no, that's, they won't, they're over there. Senator J. Butts, on it. That's who we're doing. Whitland Timbers, you always give me the best raids. So we've got Senator _J. Butts. We're heading on over, everybody. And thank you again, and we'll see you when we see you. Be well. Oh, I have to wait 10 more seconds. Well, okay. But come with me. Let's go say hi to Senator J. Butts, courtesy of Whitland Timbers. We're clicking in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Peace out, everybody.